16 things you should never ever reveal about yourself at work. Some things in life are better kept secret, period. From your relationship to your pay, find out the ultimate list of things you should never ever reveal about yourself at work. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I hope you are doing fantastic today. I'm doing marvelous, and if you are doing as marvelous as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about the things that you should never reveal about yourself at work. Number one, what you do on Facebook. You know, the things you do on Facebook, the pictures you post, the messages you like, the videos you watch. Nobody wants to hear about that at work. And this is very important. Now, the only professional social network you should pay attention to and that you should mention at work is LinkedIn. That's it. Save Facebook for everybody else. Save Twitter or YouTube or whatever it is. Save it for everybody else. Now, the thing here is that nobody will ever tell you that, you know, your pictures or your comments about Facebook are bad. But believe me, you will actually have consequences. This will have bad consequences in the future, especially if the comments you are referring to are very silly comments or very, non-professional comments, right? So it's very important to keep what you do on Facebook, keep it on Facebook. What you do in your bedroom, again, nobody cares about what you do in your bedroom, and nobody should care about hearing your romantic life, right? It's very important. Your sex life is off boundaries here when it comes to work. Remember, work is for work, so keep it professional, keep it clean. All right. If you constantly have a bad reputation of someone who spills the beans in the workplace, that could have a serious consequence, adverse consequence on your career. So don't talk about your relationship. Don't talk about what's going on in your privacy in terms of romance, in terms of intimacy. Nobody needs to hear that. Number 3, your pay. Never reveal how much you make. Never tell colleagues or subordinates or whatever. Never reveal how much you make. Again, this is a conversation that people are not interested in. Number 1. And number 2, if you were to tell them, this could create a lot of instability within the team. And the last thing you want is for management to come to you because you are sowing the seeds of instability in the team. Management to come to you and reprimand you. Nobody wants that, right? The last thing you want again is to have envy, anger, jealousy, whatever it is, whatever negative emotion you might get from your colleagues just because they know your pay or they know your the benefits that you may have. It's already complicated to talk about money within the family circle. So don't export that sort of complexity, that sort of complicated issues at work. Number 4, what you think someone else does in the bedroom. In other words, now you are talking about somebody else's intimate life. Again, you don't want to engage in gossip. Gossiping is just very bad in general, and most importantly, when it comes to the professional field, it just makes you disreputable. So don't comment, don't listen to, don't transfer, don't forward information about someone else's intimate life to others at work. Stay away from that. Stay away from the gossip. Stay away from anything juicy, anything romantic related. You don't want that. All right. So the 4 things I want you to remember here is what you're doing on Facebook, what you do in your bedroom, your pay, and what you think someone else does in the bedroom. Those, do not reveal those. I'll be right back for 12 more things you should never ever reveal about yourself at work. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still having a conversation today about things you should be really mum about at work. And number 5, that you were wild in college. Never say anything about your college years. All right. You might have done something crazy 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And you're thinking, that was 30 years ago. People will not take it seriously. Well, you have to understand, people judge you based on history because your past can say a lot about you, and it's very difficult for a person to change completely. So if you start giving very juicy details about your past, about your college years, your colleagues and superiors might start looking at you differently. They might start viewing you differently. There is a reason why people actually delete pictures of old days from Facebook and other social media. There is a reason why. You don't want the past to come back and haunt you, right? So this is very important. And number 6. Before I talk about number 6, I want to say that if you like the content so far and you want to hear more life advice and professional advice like this one, consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell. Comment below, let us know your experience when it comes to revealing things about oneself at work. Share this content so everybody's aware of the dangers of revealing too much about oneself at work. Number 6, don't reveal that you are job hunting, right? The last thing you want is for people to know that you're looking for work. If you are on the job market while still at work, you might actually end up losing the current job very fast. And most importantly, you would have burned a bridge, right? When possible, even if you hate your job, it's just always better to leave your company in good terms. You never know. You never know. Life is unpredictable. You never know. And even if you know that you are never coming back to that company, you might need them for job references. You might need your boss for a job reference. And so you want to keep a good relationship. You want to cultivate a good relationship. So never say at work that you're job hunting. Number 7, never say what you really think about your boss and coworkers. I'm not talking, never give negative feedback on your boss's performance. Never give negative reviews of any coworker's productivity. Even if you're someone else's manager, your job is not to air publicly your subordinate's performance evaluation, right? So never talk about those things. Be a diplomat. Think like a diplomat. I always tell people when it comes to the workplace, at least in the States and Canada, you have to act as a diplomat, all right? Always diffusing conflict, always avoiding conflict, always just coming down and doing your job and just leave it and getting paid. That's all it is. Don't transfer your privacy into the workplace. Those are two different things. Mistake number 8, never make an offensive joke at work. All right? I mean, an offensive joke makes people feel terrible. But what's even worse is that joke makes you look terrible. You have to understand it's not just about the joke itself, it's about the person telling the joke. All right? And you never know how people will actually receive the joke, because humor is something it's subjective. People process humor in different ways based on their mindset, based on their background, based on their surroundings. Something that, you can have a joke that is very funny during happy hours on a Thursday night, but if you make the same joke on Monday morning at 9 o'clock, people might not find it funny. So it's all about the circumstances, the people's mindset. So be very careful when making a joke. I would actually advise you never to make a joke at work. Work, again, it's a place where you go and work. You can socialize a little bit, but don't bring your private life into the workplace. All right. So number 8, no offensive joke. I'll be right back right after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still continuing our conversation today about the 16 things you should never ever reveal about yourself at work. Number 9, that you hate your job. Never say that you hate your job at work, right? The last thing anyone wants to hear at work is someone complaining about how much, he or she hates his or her job. You don't want that, because once you start doing that, you will be seen as a negative person. You'll be seen as someone who's not a team player. And management, again, will pay attention because management always pays attention to the morale of the group. So if they feel like you are dragging down the morale of the group, they will be very quick to kick you out. So never reveal that you hate your job. Never reveal that you are buddy with a higher up, right? If you have a special friendship with someone in the upper echelons of the company, never reveal that. This is private, right? If you have a friendship with the superior in the company, or in your department or in another department, don't talk about it. Whatever you guys do over the weekend, whether you play golf or your kids play in the same lacrosse team, or you have spouse dinners on Saturday night, whatever it is, don't say it. And most importantly, the higher your buddy is in the hierarchy, the more discreet you should be. And the reason why you don't want to reveal those things is that this might invite envy, preferential treatment, labeling, and people might look at it as unfair. And this is a loss-loss situation, not only for your friend in the higher echelon of the company, but also for yourself. Number 11, never reveal your religious or political beliefs. So those are very controversial. Religion and politics are controversial and sensitive topics that should be left out of the workplace. It's very important, right? You don't want people to start labeling you as someone, as a leftist or as a right wing, or whatever the thing. You don't want folks to start looking at you as a Democrat or Republicans or Independents. No, you are John Doe. You do your job, and that's it. You don't want people to start giving you comment based, because, you do this because you are a Republican, or you do this because you're a Democrat. You don't want that. So the last thing you want is, or because you are against, Muslims, or you're against Jews or Christians or whatever, or Buddhists, No. Never engage in a conversation around religion, faith, or politics at work. Number 12. Never reveal that you are after someone else's position. Even if you are secretly longing for somebody's position, never reveal that, right? This is really bad. Revealing your ambitions makes you vulnerable, right? And this basically might come across as selfish and indifferent to those you work with and the company as a whole, right? So the idea here is that you want to be seen as a team player, right? So if you are a team player, you want the whole team to succeed, not just yourself. So it's very important, whether you have, a clear idea of what the job is about, or whether you have a clear willingness to take the job that you want, never reveal it. Just do things, secretly, and at the right time, the whole company or the whole department will know about your moves, or at least will know about the outcome of your moves, which is a lot better. All right? I will speak to you right after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still having a conversation about 16 things you should never ever reveal about yourself at work. Number 13, never reveal that you love booze or that you like to be intoxicated. Nobody cares about that, right? And the thing here is that, imagine, is that a good image? You just you're just giving about yourself, that you love alcohol, or you love drugs, you're into narcotics. Nobody wants to think about those things, and this might reflect on you poorly, and might actually portray you as an immature and unpredictable person. And this is the kind of stuff that management doesn't want. So never reveal those details about your privacy. And if you are in that category, maybe you might seek help, right? So that you can correct that addiction. But never reveal those at work. This could also be, revealing this might also put you might also make you vulnerable, because you might be a victim of unintentional discrimination, hidden discrimination. You might be kicked out of the company without management ever revealing to you that you were fired because of your intoxication, or not even because of your intoxication, but because you talked about it. Did you know that companies usually will do some drug test before hiring a person, and it is explicitly written in the HR manual that they can conduct such tests at a later date randomly. So if you start telling people that you usually get intoxicated, they could just run a random test on you, and if you were found positive, you could be fired. So keep things to yourself. All right. Number 14, never reveal that you think someone is incompetent. Again, we're not here to pass judgments on colleagues or friends or anybody for that matter. If you believe that somebody is incompetent, try to help them out. Try to help them improve their skills. Try to help them get better. Don't just criticize them. Actually, never criticize them. Help them out. By helping them out, you will boost you will boost your reputation, your what I call your karma account. But you will also look good. You will be seen as a team leader, which is very important when it comes to getting promoted or when it comes to getting a raise. Number 15. Never reveal your take on sensitive topics. Now, I was talking earlier about politics and religion. Now, I want to talk about sensitive topics at the global level. I'm talking about immigration, sexual orientation, geopolitics, the global economy. Never talk about that. For instance, if you're at work, don't say something like, I hate the way the Chinese government is treating us. No. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs your view, on what the Chinese are doing or what the Japanese or what the Europeans are doing. No, try to stay away from that. Again, immigration, people's sexual orientation. Keep those concepts to yourself. Your opinion, keep it to yourself. Number 16, your personal problems should not be revealed at work. At least you shouldn't reveal them, right? If you're going through a relationship issues, if you're sick, if your children are sick, or if something's going on in your family, whatever it is, you can actually share this with a few colleagues that you're very comfortable with. Otherwise, you don't have to start talking about it. You don't want the whole firm to know about what's going on in your private life. Your private life should remain private. All right. Okay, thank you so much. I'll be right back right after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. If you love the content of the show so far, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you can be informed whenever we release a new show. We release shows every single day, at least 2 or 3 times a day when we feel good, and we cover a lot of topics. So consider subscribing. You want to share this content, you want to like it, comment below, let us know things we might have missed, things that you believe actually work in real life when it comes to protecting an employee's private life, and we want to hear from you. Okay, so here are the 16 things I talked about today. What you do on Facebook, what you do in your bedroom, your pay, what you think someone else does in the bedroom, that you were wild in college, that you were job hunting, what you really think of your boss and coworkers, an offensive joke, that you hate your job, that you're buddy-buddy with the higher up, your religious or political beliefs, that you are after someone else's position, that you love booze, that you think someone is incompetent, and you take on sensitive topics, and your personal problems. All right? So now, here is today's pro tip before I wrap this up. Keep it to yourself. Discretion is paramount, is important at work. All right. If you remember, even companies are aware of the need for complete discretion, which is why sometimes they will want you to sign something called NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Right. So it's very important. Sign a non-disclosure agreement with yourself, whereby you restrain yourself from divulging anything about your private life at work. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you next time. And until then, stay marvelous.